Yes, that happened. Yes, it did. But you know what? Doesn't matter. Good morning, everybody. What's going on? So I was messing around with an intro, and then I realized I didn't shut the damn thing off before I started talking. So anyway, you know what? I am amazed. I'm amazed at the headline I saw this morning, and I was putting together my show, and I just stopped dead in my tracks when I read this headline in the Washington Post this morning. So that's going to be the lead story. But we got lots of stuff going on. Hey, now let's try this again. I'm going to play the intro. See you in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Night. And stop the music. Good morning, Americans. In the immortal words of Jericho Green. If you don't know who Jericho Green is, check him out on YouTube also. It is February 19th, 2020. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Night. And today's music selection is going to be kind of pseudo 90s pop sound, and here that goes. Nice little piano intro. Kind of a Sister Christian feel. But not quite. I think I have it up a little too loud, though. But here we go. Can you feel it coming down the road? Sounds like a 90s song. Not like anything else you'd sing. Let's have a big new beginning. I'm just making this up as I go along, but I'm going to turn it down so I get the level right, so I can talk over it. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. All right, everybody. So it is Wednesday, Hump Day. It's also Jussie Wednesday. And it's also the day that the Washington Post decides that maybe their slogan, "Democracy Dies in Darkness," might actually be their theme song, right? And almost rooting for it. So before we get into that, let me say good morning to everybody first, just like I do every morning. And first in the chat today was Richo. Richo, you get the bell. My friend from down under. Also, good morning to Advocatus Diaboli, MC Hammer Time. Hey, it worked today, didn't it? Of course, you couldn't hear it over the 90s stuff. Good morning, Grillin' Pirate Pete, Shia Grath, Howdy Bigots, and Dark Isle, J Wolf, Sean DW175, aka just Sean, because Sean's been around with us a long time. Also, Reese Donald, Cynical Lindsay, J Wolf, and the gayest person on YouTube. That's a good start. I'm sure more are coming soon. Into the chat, that I mean. Get your minds out of the gutter, people. Oh, good morning, Daryl Parnas also. All right, so I finally got a couple of these things fixed. Listen, wow. See, that one works. That one works. And obviously, that one works. The bell works. And just in case somebody says something really stupid, yes, we're ready for you now. All right, good morning, Peter Allman also. Okay, so let's get, this thing's, that music, is that music just really loud, or is that just my headphones? No, that's really loud. I'm going to turn that down a little bit, or at least I'm going to attempt to here. It's a very touch and control. Oh, that's a little too much. Let's go a little higher. And there we go, looking good. Good morning, Smarty Bear. As people are rolling in, please say hi in the chat, or if you're lurking or working or driving or whatever, don't get in trouble. Don't get into an accident. You don't have to chat if you're out there working. Gosh darn it, this There, that's about right. All right, there we go. Now we got the music going. Something really stupid. I saw that. You are right. I see you there. So, and also thank you to the people who are retweeting the show out this morning. Necrosol Collins and David Schoen already did that. Also, Pincalo sent me some. Oh, what is that Pincalo sent me? Oh, you got. Oh, yeah, he sent me something too, but that's not tweeting out the show here. But while you're at it, while you're thinking about it, the Morning Night Live is sponsored and supported by the viewers who watch the Morning Night Live. There's the tweet of the day. If you're on Twitter, retweet that. If you're not, hit the share button in whatever social media you use. Just a few clicks will send it out to wherever you want it to go. Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, something else that starts with a T, and guys who are looking for jobs. Send it out wherever you can, and that would be great. Also, just so you know, the thumbs up button down below the screen there is for if you like, and then the thumbs down is strictly Duck Dog's personal domain. And the show is sponsored by you. Streamlabs link is actually right below my face there. PDawgnight.live. That'll take you to my Streamlabs, and we'll be good to go. All right, let's get into this. Oh my gosh. This cringe from the Washington Post this morning. Now, I'm using an archive site, and here's the archived article, just so you can relish this the rest of your day. This is incredible to me. So the Washington Post puts out this article. It's time to give elites a bigger say in choosing the president. Now, if you're not familiar, now it's funny because they're really out here talking about the Democratic primaries, but I know what this woman really means. Oh, and it's ironic because if you look at the Washington Post, see this little line up here that says the Washington Post, where their slogan is "Democracy dies in darkness," and right below that it says it's time to give the elites a bigger say in choosing the president. Well, first of all, my first question, just seeing this headline, not even reading the article, I look at this headline and I think to myself, who are these elites that this person speaks of? Who are the elites? Oh, the people who are better than you. I get it. They're better than you. That's what these people think. They're better than you. They don't think just you normal people lying there in the dirt in your trailer parks and whatnot have the ability to choose the president. The elite should do it. Now, of course, this person, her name is Julia Zari. Julia Zari is an associate professor and assistant chair in the Department of Political Science at Marquette University, one of the elite places where people go and learn how to be elite. This is the third op-ed in a series about how to improve the presidential nominating process. So I might have to go back and see who the hell, who else has been writing about this. I know David Axelrod wrote about it and talking about the Iowa caucuses. Now, here's the thing, man. So I think about the Iowa caucuses, and people are complaining because, they had a mess in the Iowa caucuses, and it seems like an antiquated system for doing things. But, actually, I don't necessarily have a problem with the Iowa caucus system. In the Iowa caucuses, now, granted, primaries are great, whatnot, but it seems convoluted. But listen, here's what you do at the Iowa caucuses. You actually have to go and talk with other people about the candidates. And you go and you actually have to go talk to people, and people have to get to say, well, I think this candidate is better because of this, 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 and this. And the other one says, I think this candidate is better because of this, this, and this. And let's get an idea who's where. That, in fact, it's really like it's live action. I've said this before. It's live action ranked choice voting, because you go there, you see who's who's people who are voting for who, and then you try to go and convince some other people going, well, here's some good reasons why you want this instead of this, and people actually talk, and then you go, you know what? Yeah, my candidate maybe not, it maybe doesn't have enough support, so let me figure out who I would support in place of that, and then people actually go and move, and that's how they figure it out. Now, is it antiquated? Yes, it's just like going into a small town and sitting there and having to talk to people. But the good thing about it is people actually talk to people, and they try to figure out, really who are the people that they really want if my candidate sucks. Okay? And so I don't mind a caucus system. Now, granted, the Bernie bros want nothing to do with the caucus system anymore, because it kind of didn't work out for Bernie. And I think what you're seeing in that Iowa caucus system, and I'm pretty sure you're seeing it around other places, is that part of the problem for Bernie Sanders is he has his super loyal following, but he's not many people's second choice because of one word that he likes to use. And I know it's not real socialism, but the word socialism scares a lot of people. So you're going to have that, that 25% of the Democratic electorate that loves that idea. But hey, guess what? I'm going to guess 70% or so wants nothing to do with it. And granted, the country doesn't want anything to do with it. That's why the DNC is scared to death that Bernie Sanders could get the nomination. So now, let's start reading this article. Good morning also to my good friend Prospero. Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, I just called you ma'am. You and I'm almost as old as you are. I don't know why. Anyway, and I just said you're old. That's terrible. All right, don't hit me if you ever see me in person. Also, good morning, Gunfox61, and Cynical Lindsay. Oh, you were here earlier. Did I say good morning to you yet? I think no, I didn't, because you came in here after the gayest person on YouTube. So good morning, Cynical Lindsay, and whoever else is out there in the ether. I know there's a bunch of you out there. All right, let's check out this Washington Post article, though. This is really, really bad. Okay, so here she goes. Now she's talking about the fraction. She's talking about the Democratic primary, but there's a lot of people who are pissed. Only a fraction of the Democratic primary electorate has voted so far, but the nomination season is off to a rocky start. Independent Bernie Sanders seems to be leading in popular votes. Like the popular vote matters in the Democratic primaries, but I digress. And while upstart Pete Buttigieg is ahead in the delegate count. And there's also a question whether either one or any of the candidates can bring the party together moving forward. The current process is clearly flawed. Really? How so? I guess we're going to find out. Good morning, Izu, by the way. The current process is clearly flawed, but what would be better? Finding an answer means thinking about the purpose of presidential nominations and about how the existing system falls short. It will require swimming against the tide of how we've thought about nominations for decades as a contest between everyday voters and elites, or as a smaller version of the general election. Really? So you think the primary nomination system is a contest between everyday voters and elites only in the Democratic Party who have the superdelegate system, right? Because they choose their elites, and then the elites kind of go along with what the actual DNC wants. Not necessarily what the people wants, but the DNC, because they're the elites. They're better than you. Just saying. That's what this tells me. The elites are better than you. It's kind of like, who was it the other day when Mike Bloomberg was talking about how, in the economy with a farmer, well, if you're planting farming is just, you put a hole in the ground, you put a seed in, you water, and then shit grows. And that's all farming is. But the smart people have to be in the information economy, because all you farmers are just dumbasses who don't know anything. Have you ever met a farmer, Mike Bloomberg? I'm going on a tangent. I wonder if Mike Bloomberg's ever been on a farm. Do you know how complicated and technical a business farming is these days, Mike Bloomberg, you fucking moron? Only 3% probably of the population feeds the other 97%. And the technology you got to know, the engineering you got to know, oh my God, the science you need to know of growing crops and what types of, things you need to do to keep it from being destroyed by either bugs or weeds. Come on, Mike Bloomberg, you dumbass. Anyway, but the elites are better than you, right? Skeptalk, how you doing, brother? How you doing? Good to see you. Or machinist, don't forget. Yeah, holy shit. Oh yeah, the machinist too. Oh yeah, he shit on anyone that isn't elite like him. Anyway, a better primary system would empower elites to bargain and make decisions. Instructed by voters. He says instructed by voters. She says instructed by voters. One lesson from the 2020 and 2016 cycles is that a lot of candidates, many of whom are highly qualified and attract substantial followings, will inevitably enter the race. The system, as it works now, with a long informal primary, lots of attention to early contests, and sequential primary season that unfolds over several months, is great at testing candidates to see whether they have the skills to run for president. Well, then what's the problem? What is the problem? Oh. What it's not great at is choosing among the many candidates who clear that bar, or bringing their different ideological factions together, or reconciling competing priorities. A process in which intermediate representatives, elites, elected delegates who understand the priorities of their constituents, elites, can bargain without being bound to specific candidates, might actually produce nominees that better reflect what the voters want. Isn't that special? The elites can figure out what the voters really want. Good morning to Patrice Ripley, my resident K-pop aficionado. A nomination contest is not like a general election. They aren't being fought to win, but to go on to November. Really? What do you have to do to go on to November? I believe you have to win. But again, I'm going on tangents. But the kind of processes that we associate with more open and high quality democracy may not actually help parties produce nominees that really reflect the party's overall concerns. Democracy thrives on uncertainty, outcomes that are not known at the beginning of the process, but uncertainty doesn't help parties strategize for the general election. Phew, boy, oh boy. The reforms that created the modern primary system in the 1970s opened the door to too much uncertainty and to divisive nominees, such as George McGovern in 1972. I figured it out. This person is also scared of Bernie Sanders losing 49 states. This spurred efforts by party leaders to take control informally through a system of endorsements and donations, narrowing the field. Wait a minute. Through a system of endorsement and donations, narrowing the field to acceptable candidates before the first caucus and primaries took place. What's emerged since then is a process that's incredibly complicated. Different states jockey for influence in the official primary. Candidates strategize about delicate counts. Elites try to shape the decisions early on. Everyone is doing guesswork about what others want. Reforms to the process should try to make the guessing a bit more informed. Oh, and who's more informed? Those people who are better than you, the elites. Some critiques point to nominees such as Donald Trump in lacking conventional qualifications and appreciation for democratic norms as proof that nominations shouldn't be too democratic. But the same system more or less produced candidates such as Barack Obama. I wish I needed you know what I needed right there? I needed an angelic choir to go, ah. I'll have to add one of those to my soundboard but the same system more or less produced candidates such as Barack Obama, ah, and Mitt Romney. What? Wait, what? Isn't it funny how suddenly Mitt Romney is acceptable to the elites? Elites like, what's her name? Her name is Julie Azari. Julie Azari, suddenly candidates like Mitt Romney are acceptable. I wonder why. I wonder why Mitt Romney is suddenly acceptable. You know what? Here, let me just do a quick experiment. What's her name again? Julie Azari, Azri. Okay, let's just do a little quick here. Let's go look up Julie Azari and Mitt Romney. Let's go. Let's go 2008, 2012, 2012. Let's see if we can find any writings by Julie Azari about Mitt Romney. Nope. Nothing that double. I don't see anything doubling up. Oh, here we go. Let's see here. There's 538. Julia Azari. Okay, here we go. She did an article on this is about choosing a vice president. I wonder if there's. I bet if I looked long enough, there would be an article I could find about Julia Azari's opinion of Mitt Romney in 2012 when he ran against, what's his name again? Oh, Barack Obama. I definitely need to get that angelic sound out there. I need a sound effect for Barack Obama. Anyway, so the quality of the system can't be measured solely in terms of the kinds of nominees it produces. Instead, we should think about how it reflects the preference and values of the different components of the party coalition. Well, look, if people are voting and people are doing what they're, if they're out there voting, aren't they already doing what they want? Do we need elites to determine what they really want? I don't know. But I forgot. The elites, they're better than you. Hello, Data Wasteland. How you doing? I see you popping in here. Okay. All right. So for decades, the conversation about nominations has been about the conflicts between party elites and everyone else. Today, that conversation is counterproductive. A better approach is to think about how voters and elites could best play their different roles. And the best way to do that would be through preference primaries. Ooh, preference primaries. Preference primaries could allow voters to rank their choices among candidates. Oh, did we just talk about this? Like I said, caucus, the Iowa caucus is a live version of what she's about to say. Preference primaries could allow voters to rank their choices among candidates as well as to register opinions about their issue priorities, like an exit poll, but more formal and with all the voters. The result would be public but not binding in a way that informs elites Whoops. About voter preferences. Well, that's exactly what the Iowa caucuses does. It's messy, but that's what they do. They rank their choices among candidates, but in a live setting, and they actually get to talk to each other rather than register opinions about their issues and priorities. They actually go and talk about their issues and priorities. Now, the problem with the caucus system, it's hard to get as many people to come out for caucuses, and people don't care that much. But if they can just go vote and check a box, it's easier. That's why most states have primaries. But it used to be where most states had actual caucuses where people had to go and talk and decide what they wanted to do, and the people, those not so elite people, actually got to try to convince each other why each candidate would be best for what they're doing. Not saying that I'm not necessarily promoting a caucus system, but I understand the value of it, okay? Anyway, this process could accompany a primary of the sort we're used to, in which voters' first choices instruct the delegates, and the preferences come into play only if there's no clear winner. So the elites decide. That's my line. Good morning, Tyler F. and Maniac Man. How you doing? The primaries could also be held in combination with election for convention delegates so that these representatives are informed by their constituents' preferences. This would also help voters hold these delegates accountable in the future. The point is to build a way for party elites to understand what their base is thinking. Oh my God. And allow them to bargain so that these different preferences and priorities can be balanced. This might sound labor intensive and a little risky, but the process is already lengthy and expensive. Candidates jockey for endorsements and donations for months leading up to the first contest. Why not invest some resources in finding out what voters really think, and then allow party delegates or elites to figure out how those opinions can translate into a winning ticket? Wow. Oh, so anyway, I think I sent you the arc. I'm going to put this in the chat again if you want to read this again, just to try and wrap your mind around it. Basically, what she's offering is what's known as ranked choice voting. Okay, you get to rank your top like 2 or 3 choices for candidates, and then the elites go try and figure out what the hell you're really talking about, or really what you really want. And it's the same kind of thing that happens in caucus states versus primary states, where you just go in and check a box, and the top winner gets this many delegates, and the next person gets this many delegates. And I think different states do it differently. So, for example, in New Hampshire, where Bernie did win the popular vote with a whopping 24% or 26% of the vote, Pete Buttigieg got about 24%. So they ended up both getting 9 delegates. That is a statistical tie in New Hampshire. Okay, they both got the same number of delegates because they got roughly the same amount of votes, within a margin of error and within all the other candidates. And so, this headline, and you'll see on Twitter today, it has people reeling. People, especially the Bernie people. The Bernie people are furious. Okay, the Bernie people are furious because they think this is an attack on Bernie Sanders, because the DNC, well, think about it. Do you think Jeff Bezos, the owner of the Washington Post, isn't he also the owner of Amazon or something? Is that right? Yeah, something like that. Do you think Jeff Bezos really wants Bernie Sanders to be the nominee? Now, I'm not saying that Julia Azari is a toady of Jeff Bezos, but this editorial did end up in Jeff Bezos' newspaper. Good morning, Jedi Ghost Bear. It's not that the elites don't know what the base thinks, Bob. They just don't know. They just don't care. Right on there. You're spot on. Yes. Oh, Gunfox. Yeah. Okay. I see you got you have a article in my email. I will try to get to that today. I do have a few other things. Now, So it is Jussie Wednesday, and it's kind of the day where I try to make sure that we have at least one Jussie Smollett story. So I brought up one. This is from just the MSM Lifestyle. Okay, Kim Foxx. You know who Kim Foxx is? Remember Kim Foxx? She's the state's attorney in Chicago. Well, she just says that the Jussie Smollett case should not define her records as a Cook County state's attorney. Right now, I think was it yesterday? When was the election? There's a special election for the Cook County state's attorney. And so the current state attorney, Kim Foxx, by the way, if Kim Foxx is one of these state's attorneys or attorney general type people that have been financed by everyone's favorite villain, George Soros. George Soros gave $400,000 to Kim Foxx's campaign because she's one of these reforming progressive attorney generals, and he's done this in several states. It's kind of amazing, and they're all doing these same kind of stupid ideas, like not prosecuting property crimes under $800 and shit like that. It's pretty amazing. Good morning. Good morning, Green Badger Outdoors. And you were already here. Okay, Kim Foxx, PDawg. There are a few of them, but I would read number 2 off the air to see if they're okay with your news stream. Well, I will do that. I'll thank you for reminding me of that. Anyway, Cook County State Attorney Kim Foxx sat down with ABC's Craig Wall for her first sit-down interview since Special Prosecutor Daniel Webb refiled charges against actor Jussie Smollett. Now, one of the things, one other aside here, and maybe it's in this article, I haven't read it yet. Kim Foxx is also pretty angry, very angry, that these particular charges against Jussie Smollett have been brought back to the forefront just before they're having a special election for the Cook County State's Attorney. And there's several people running for that office now, and they're all hammering Kim Foxx over this Jussie Smollett thing. Hey, Mike Savage, how you doing? Okay, so anyway, again, Dan Webb, so Cook County State's Attorney. Quote, I understand the attention this has gotten, Foxx said. Political opponents have spent millions of dollars at the forefront of people's minds. I have no idea what that means, Kim. What the hell are you saying there? I have no idea. All right. A year ago, Foxx's office indicted and then dropped charges against the actor. Now he's been charged again with lying about a staged hate crime. Wall asked Foxx if she believes Smollett was lying or telling the truth. You know what? Let's do this. Let's just watch it and we'll comment on it. Let me refresh this real quick. We'll just listen to the interview. I don't think it's very long, and we'll have a go at this one. Today, come on, here we go. Okay. Let's pause. Let's check out this interview. Here we go. Oh, wait, what? What's going on here? Where's the sound? Oh.
The political opponents have put have an interest in this case. I understand the attention that it has gotten. The political opponents have put millions of dollars to keep this case at the forefront of people's minds.
Oh. It is the Jussie Smollett case. A year ago, Kim Foxx's office indicted and then dropped charges against the actor. Now he's been recharged by Special Prosecutor Dan Webb with lying about a staged hate crime.
Do you believe Jussie Smollett was lying or telling the truth?
Listen, Mr. Smollett is the subject of a criminal case right now. I can't speak to the merits of that case.
Wait a minute. You are the state's attorney. You absolutely can say your opinion on that because your state is charging Jussie Smollett. Of course you think he's lying, and you've said it more than once. Continue.
If you would have required Jussie Smollett to admit guilt, do you think all of this would be a non-issue?
As I've said, this case is being litigated.
Last week, Fox's campaign issued a press release calling the timing of Webb bringing charges political with the election so close.
There it is. It's political. No, they don't think he should be tried now because, hey, it ruins her chances to become or remain the state's attorney. Of course, it's political. Come on. Hey, good morning. Check your logic.
The state's attorney's office was much more tame.
Did you approve that press release that referred to Webb's investigation as James Comey-like and political?
Listen, As I've said,
Kim, did you approve that?
Answer the question.
Did you approve that? Can you answer that question?
I can't answer that question.
Why not? That has nothing to do with the case. You know, it just gets dumber and dumber. Here we go.
Fox believes voters are more concerned about issues other than Smollett.
People of Cook County who live in neighborhoods that have been devastated by violence want us to talk about what are we going to do to make sure communities are safe.
And she points to key aspects of her record.
Well, certainly not prosecuting crimes that happen, and that's kind of one of her things. Anyway, honestly, the thing is, too, I think crime has been coming down, and even in Chicago, crime is way down from, say, the 90s, for example. The 90s were a terrible time for inner city crime all across the country. I remember when I lived here in the Twin Cities, and they used to call Minneapolis Murderapolis because there were so many murders in all these urban areas, and that crime has been obviously it's still there. But we always everyone tries to bring up, what about the Chicago? What about this one, that? Yes, there is still crime and there's still a lot of murders in these cities. But compared to the 90s, holy crap, it's so much better. But it's still not good enough. Okay, and the state's attorney's job, I would think, part of it is that they were better at finding people who committed crimes and prosecuting them, and I would say the economy improving always helps too. Winter helps, obviously, because criminals don't want to be out in the cold shit. So that's why that's especially why Jussie Smollett's case was so stupid in the first place. On the coldest day of the year, this is MAGA country. Aren't you that Empire N-word? Yeah, no, I know. Anyway.
The vacating of wrongful convictions has been something I'm particularly proud of. The work that we've done on marijuana legalization and the expungement of what will be 100,000 records here in Cook County.
Fox believes, based on that, and not just the one case, Jussie Smollett, she deserves another 4 years. Tonight at 6, though, more from Fox, including the shots he takes at Eddie Johnson, William Barr, and why she won't apologize to Dan Webb for the campaign statement.
Okay, so anyway, so she took a shot at this special prosecutor for putting out that, for bringing the charges at this time. Well, you know what? It's probably because this is when the charges were, when they figured out, got the case in order. So it probably has nothing to do with politics. Good morning, a dead Kaiser. That's the first time I've seen that name. By the way, if you're new here watching the Morning Night Live, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to make sure that you are getting notifications. Also, I can drop 25. Okay, so Dead Kaiser, I usually try to figure out what people write the first time they come here, and I don't know what that means, Dead Kaiser. I can drop 25 different jokes on Comedy Stage, unlike Lily Singh. She got bombed more than Obama using his drone attacks. Okay, I don't know how Lily Singh got into the conversation. She's not very funny. Anyway, she's never been funny. I could see maybe where her satire might, okay, I'm being generous here, but might make you go, oh yeah, I kind of get that joke, but she's not funny. Anyway, do you think Juicy would have to come clean if the cops arrested and charged 2 innocent people for this fake crime? Good question. I don't. I think somehow, that's a good question. I think he would have tried to fake his way through that. If 2 people got arrested, I think he would have tried to fake his way through it. And the come clean, would he have to come clean? I think, well, let's put it this way. Now that we figured out the case and we know that he's paying these guys and people are the guys who were in it with him are testifying against him, I think it would have come out. I think they would have figured it out, and it might have. I don't think he probably would have been. I don't think the charges would have been dropped if it happened that way. But anyway, quick, I got a super chat, which is through the stream left below from Benoit Balls, $2. Speaking of Dumb and Dumber, it's Jeff Daniels' birthday. Oh, the star of Dumb and Dumber. It's Jeff Daniels' birthday. That might end up in the Twitter trends today. We'll find out. Also, just a reminder: in the chat, there's a link to the PDawg Night Live website where you can do super chats. This show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donations and have your super chats read live on the show. Click the PDawg Night link in the chat or in the description down below for that. And good morning to Cryptic. I'm feeling a lot of puns coming on. All right, let's get into some other news. Let's see. We did the Washington Post. We did that. So apparently there was some rumor that was written. It has made it into the Twitters, and I don't know if any newspapers quoted this, but something about Attorney General Barr possibly resigning. Yeah, he responded to that report. Attorney General Barr responds to reports on his possible resignation. Hello, Duck Dog. And wait, what? Wait, hang on a second. I'm not that funny, but I can be in different situations. Okay. Attorney General Barr responds to reports on possible resignation. Attorney General William Barr, through his spokesperson at the Department of Justice, indicated late on Tuesday night that he does not have any plans to resign from the department. Barr spokeswoman Carrie Kupik wrote on Twitter, addressing Barr's belt rape rumors, "The Attorney General has no plans to resign." Barr's response came after CNN, The Washington Post, and the Associated Press, all wish casting, reported on Tuesday night that Barr had privately told those close to him that he was considering quitting because of President Donald Trump's tweet about Justice Department matters. And you know what? That story, okay, it's always, excuse me, I need a sip of my, hang on a second here. I need a sip of my reparations coffee. I feel much better now. All right. That actually, that story came out in the Washington Post. You ever notice? Now, the Washington Post constantly puts out headlines that, are just not friendly to our president of the United States. And it's amazing how many of those headlines come from a source close to, or a source who remains anonymous, or sources say. That's always their source, not a person. Well, anyway, and then CNN you ever notice CNN never has their own stories? Almost never. They're always stories from the Washington Post.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
Anyway, the Washington Post reported. This is the Washington Post story, and this is where the AP and CNN picked it up. The Washington Post reported, the administration officials said Barr seemed to be sharing his position with advisors in hopes the president would get the message that he should stop weighing in publicly on Justice Department's ongoing criminal investigations. Barr had previously scheduled lunch with the White House counsel Tuesday and was still the Attorney General by day's end, indicating that the president's moves that day were not enough to push him to resign. A source familiar with. Hello, cameraman Jay. Barr told ABC News last week that Trump's tweets were very disruptive to the department, saying that, "I think the essential role of the Attorney General is to keep law enforcement, the criminal process sacrosanct, to make sure there's no political interference in it. And I'm happy to say that, in fact, the president has never asked me to do anything in a criminal case," Barr continued. However, to have public statements and tweets made about the department, about our people in the department, our men and women here, about cases pending in the department, and about judges before whom we have cases, make it impossible for me to do my job and to assure the courts and to wait, where's the editors? To assure the courts, and I am responsible for everything that happens in the department. But the thing I have the most responsibility for are the issues that are brought to me for decision, Barr added. And I will make those decisions based on what I think is the right thing to do, and I am not going to be bullied or influenced by anybody. And I said, whether it's Congress, newspaper, editorial boards, or the president, I'm going to do what I think is right. And I think I cannot do my job here at the department with a constant background commentary that undercuts me. So anyway, he's not resigning. Get a life. Quit your wishful thinking. You're probably going to have to try to get rid of him some other way. Anyway, and I'm just telling you, it doesn't matter. He's got some people working on cases, and I don't think they're going to change if he did leave. By the way, just a couple other headlines. Berman, the judge, Amy Black Berman, is not going to delay Roger Stone's sentencing, even though, let's see, in a just world, she'd have been disbarred, removed. She's not going to change his sentencing or delay his sentencing. There has been a request by Roger Stone's people to get a new trial because of the issues with the jury foreman, who is clearly an anti-Trump person, and they found a bunch of anti-Trump and her retweeting stuff about Stone when she said she really didn't know anything about Stone and didn't have any strong opinions. And then they find all her Twitter profile and all this things she's put on social media that prove that she is a lying.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
She's one of those. Anyway, let's see. Hang on, sorry, I didn't even put it on the screen. President Donald Trump's longtime advisor, Roger Stone, will be sentenced Thursday despite a request by the defense attorneys for a delay. The federal judge overseeing his case ruled Tuesday, "I think that delaying this sentence would not be a prudent thing to do under all of the circumstances," said Judge Amy Berman Jackson in a Tuesday telephone conference with lawyers. Jackson's decision comes after all four prosecutors in Stone's case resigned. She hasn't accepted the resignation, though. They can't just resign. She has to approve that. I don't know if she has. I guess we'll find out. Jackson's decision comes after all four prosecutors in Stone's case resigned over the Justice Department's reversing their recommended prison sentence of 87 to 108 months. Trump took to Twitter Tuesday condemning both the former prosecutors and Jackson, so he hasn't stopped tweeting. That's not really that important. And then later it was revealed that lead juror in Stone's case, Tamika Hart, ran for Congress in 2012 as a Democrat and had previously posted negative stories about Trump concerning special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation, a central factor in the case against Stone. Yes, she had some very strong opinions about that too. Good morning, TOS. Attorneys for Roger Stone filed a sealed motion last week asking for a new trial after the revelations about Hart became known. The motion also requested that Jackson delay his sentencing, which she is no longer doing. That's all I'm reading about that. Let's see here. I got a couple more just on the kind of that kind of vein. Let's see. Federal judges meeting. Oh, these federal judges meeting. You know, this is funny because as I think about this, it's actually kind of funny because it sounds so important. It sounds so important. And in fact, Rachel Maddow had this on her show. She's like, did you know I didn't know there was an association of judges, and these judges are all going to get together and they're going to condemn Trump and they're going to condemn what's happening and have an emergency meeting, blah, 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 blah. Well, here it is. Federal judges meeting will target Trump and Barr, according to a report. A report says, on Wednesday, a group that is comprised of over 1,000 federal judges will meet to reportedly discuss, among other things, the intervention made by the Department of Justice in the case of Roger Stone, who has been associated with President Trump. Philadelphia U.S. District Court Judge Cynthia Roof told the USA Today that the Federal Judges Association could not wait until its spring conference, adding, "There are plenty of issues that we are concerned about. We'll talk all of this through." The Federal Judges Association, oh my, that must be really important, right? Anyway, President Trump has criticized U.S. District Judge Amy Berman Jackson, who will set in stone, tweeting, "Is this the judge that put Paul Manafort in solitary confinement, something not even mobster Al Capone had to endure? How did she treat crooked Hillary?" Just asking. Well, Hillary never went to court because they gave her a pass. I really need to, I want to go back and go through Comey's statements from 2016 because people forget about that she actually did break the law, and even Comey said so. Oh, but no one would ever prosecute her for that. Anyway, here's the thing. This federal, what is it called? The Federal Judges Association. The Federal Judges Association is not an official body of anything in U.S. government. It's kind of like it's kind of like what's a good example of what the Federal Judges Association is? It's kind of just a membership group of judges, and it very well could be a very political entity. Kind of like you know how the National Rifle Association isn't an official body of anybody. It's just it's an organization that's out there that lobbies for gun rights and whatnot. Well, the Federal Judges Association is kind of like that. It's not an official body. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that these judges are a part of a group that they pay dues to be in, and they can have their little social events, and they can have their little they can have their conferences talking about how, judicial practice and things like that. It's exactly Advocatus Diaboli. It's like the Fraternal Order of Police, okay? It's a membership organization that has no real power other than they can make really official-looking statements to USA Today. And so it's funny because Rachel Maddow the other day, I wish I had the copy of the video, was so excited. I was just like, whoa, I did not know that there was a Federal Judges Association and all the federal judges are going to condemn Trump. I was so excited. Whatever. Shut the hell up. All right. So anyway, they're excited also that this Roof, what's her name? U.S. District Judge Cynthia Roof was appointed by George W. Bush. So it really must be a bipartisan effort to go against the president, because the president is orange and he's bad. Yeah, you've never heard of anti-Trumpers? And I'm like, holy God, I find myself defending Donald Trump a lot. And I'm not a Trump guy, but it's so easy sometimes. Anyway, all right, moving on. That's a stupid story. So if it sounds so important, but it's not. It's just an association. Okay, if you know where that's from, you're old like me, because first one to put it in the chat gets a bell. Hello, yes, Knights of Columbus. Thank you, Zombie Teddy. Good morning, by the way. All right, what else is in the news here? Efforts to Lindsey and Mitch McConnell defend Barr. Efforts to intimidate Barr will fall woefully short. Now here's a little comparison for you, by the way. So the left goes nuts on William Barr's dealings lately, and they're so political, and they're so a sycophant with the president. Yes, MC got it. It's chiffon. When you think it's butter, but it's not. It's chiffon. For those of you who are too young to know what chiffon is, it's margarine in a tub, soft margarine like you buy. It's kind of like, I can't believe it's not butter, but it's not. It's chiffon. Anyway, everyone's busting their brains out on William Barr, especially on the left. Left goes bananas on Barr's DOJ after ignoring far worse under Obama. How soon my leftist colleagues in the media flacks forget they engaged in community organizing for left-wing activism at the highest levels of the Department of Justice. Remember those? Remember them guys? Eric Holder. Remember him? And what's the other gal's name that been on the thing with went on the tarmac with Bill Clinton? Loretta Lynch. Yeah, remember them? No one. Wait, what happened to my music? Hang on a second. What the hell's going on here? Where is my music? Did it just stop? Oh, that one's just really quiet. Here, we're gonna move to the next one. What's this one? Heartache in Heaven. We're gonna skip this one. If I can find it. What the hell? Oh, we're way down there. Here we go. Or is it just really you guys can hear it. I just turned my headphones down. All right. My 90s groove is still going. All right, let's go back to this article. No one should be above the law, Republican or Democrat, nor should our elected leaders undermine equal justice under the law. Okay, now that these obvious statements have been made, what should we make of the 1,100 signatures to a letter calling on Attorney General Barr to resign amid all the debate regarding the Department of Justice? As someone who served, this is someone named Chip Roy, as someone who has served, albeit briefly, as a federal prosecutor, this question is of particular interest to me. First, consider that the DOJ resides in the Robert F. Kennedy Department of Justice building. Bobby Kennedy was his brother's closest political ally and advisor. Does the media suggest that we should rename the building or raise a fuss because the younger Kennedy was political? Do you believe it? Back in February 1962 in U.S. News & World Report, quote, Bobby is forever putting out political brush fires. If something goes wrong somewhere, Bobby will take a look at his list of friends scattered through the government. He will get someone on the phone, maybe a high official, and ask him to do something, do a political job for him. Wow, unheard of. Wow. That the Department of Justice is political. You know the Department of Justice is not in the Constitution? Just FYI. More from the same article. This is back in 1962. One day in January, more than a dozen young men trooped into Bobby's office. Most of them were in their 30s. They came from the Defense Department, the State Department, from various agencies of the government. Most of these men had worked closely with Bobby when he engineered his brother's election campaign. They developed great loyalty and affection for the Attorney General, became his trusted lieutenants. Is this a problem? It depends. As Jack Kennedy quipped, he wanted his brother to have a little legal experience before he goes out to practice law. Say what? Whoa, that was kind of a... what about an attorney general who politicizes the DOJ at the expense of adherence to the rule of law, packs the department with activists, is repeatedly struck down by the Supreme Court, and acts in direct conflict with well-accepted policies and procedures, then hides it? What if that attorney general is Eric Holder or Loretta Lynch? Put aside the fact that Holder was held in contempt in the U.S. House, let's chalk that up to politics and overlook the 17 Democrats who voted for contempt. Ooh, it was bipartisan. Ooh. Even a cursory review of the record shows that Holder and his successor Lynch abused power in the Department of Justice for a full 8 years while carrying out the hatchet work for President Barack Obama. After all, in an interview with Juan Williams, Holder proudly declared himself an activist attorney general and acknowledged that he turned the DOJ's Civil Rights Division into a political weapon, saying he was proud of it. Wow. How soon my leftist colleagues and media flacks forget they engaged in community organizing for left-wing activism at the highest levels of the Department of Justice, for just several major examples. 1. Under Holder, the notorious Fast and Furious operation was carried out. In it, guns were run to Mexico drug cartels, resulting in the death of a U.S. Border Patrol agent. Holder refused to cooperate, I don't know why I had trouble with that word. Holder refused to cooperate with the House investigators to turn over information. Wait a minute, isn't that an impeachable offense? 2. Holder encouraged President Barack Obama to use executive power to unconstitutionally and illegally give status and benefits to both children and parents illegally present in the United States after failing to pass legislation. In other words, the chief law enforcement officer encouraged an end round of the Constitution and the law, one of which the courts have already struck down, while the other is being litigated. That sounds, what are those dreamer people that we were talking about? Yeah, that isn't a law. That was Holder encouraging Barack Obama. Number 3, Holder effectively dismissed the lowest lunar Internal Revenue Service clear targeting of conservative groups and refused to carry out a true investigation into this corruption. Number 4, Holder corrupted the Civil Rights Division, turning it into a radical political organization led once by Tom Perez, who is now the head of the Democratic National Committee. DOJ's own Inspector General concluded in a report that the division was guilty of deep ideological polarization and a disappointing lack of professionalism. Number 5, that same radical Holder Perez Civil Rights Division was repeatedly smacked down by the courts for its egregious positions and overreach. For example, the division was rebuked in a Florida case where the DOJ abusively prosecuted peaceful abortion protesters. It argued that the First Amendment did not protect the higher decisions of a church in the Hosanna Tabor decision. There were similar decisions involving voter ID and immigration issues, among countless others. Number 6, Holder used race as a political weapon. He declared voter ID a racially charged poll tax and used immigration in cases like the tragic events in Ferguson and Sanford, California, as political events to whip up President Obama's base while completely ignoring the constant terrible gang violence in Chicago. They don't have to. I get it. Why they bring up Chicago? They bring up Chicago too much. For example, all the while leaving law enforcement of all races dangling in the wind. Number 7, Holder used civil rights as a hammer to prevent states from trying school choice to help move children out of poverty. Now that's certainly a political, not a Justice Department function. It's a political function. That's let the people decide if they want school choice. Okay, but he didn't want that. And number 8, and books will long be written about the politicization of the DOJ, the FBI, and countless government officials in the Obama administration all through the 2016 elections, involving Russian collusion, or lack thereof, and targeting Donald Trump and his campaign. No matter what political parties in power, the DOJ should not be used to advance policy contrary to the Constitution or carry out policy contrary to the law. Yeah, they weren't too keen on going after sanctuary cities either. If there are allegations of true wrongdoing as a member of the Oversight Committee, and frankly as a member of Congress, I certainly believe we should look into it. So anyway, to act like the Attorney General's office has not been politicized before, let's just say that's a joke better than, who's my new friend here? Then, wait, what's that name? I forgot it already. Then it's a bigger joke than a dead Kaiser could tell. Anyway, by the way, just a reminder, Morning Night Live brought to you by the viewers of the Morning Night Live. This show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donations to have your super chats read live on the show. The link is in the chat. All right, moving on. What else do we have here? Okay, you know what? Gunfox, I'm going to check out your emails offline, and then we might get into them tomorrow, because I got quite a few today. Good morning, Johnny Hellcat, by the way. All right, enough about this. Let's see, McCabe skates. Yeah, we already know that. Trump unloads on Mueller's prosecutions, saying they should be thrown out for bias. All right. Oh, wait a minute. NSA whistleblower, reality winner, petitions Trump for early release from prison. Oh, he can. By the way, Trump did several commutations, I think pardons, yesterday. One of them was Rod Blagojevich. I don't know why, but even Blagojevich has been in prison for 8 years. Now, granted, for a nonviolent crime, which kind of sets up by letting Blagojevich go, a Democrat ally of Barack Obama, who's been in prison for 8 years, and he commuted a sentence. He didn't pardon him, but he commuted a sentence. Kind of sets up a scenario for Roger Stone, which I think is kind of funny. Oh, you know what? There's a little bit of Hunter Biden news, by the way. Emails, according to some emails, Burisma consultant linked to Hunter Biden approached top State Department official to arrange a Ukraine meeting. What's this about? Newly, Democratic consulting working for Burisma Holdings and connected to Hunter Biden approached Deputy Secretary of State Troy Blinken at an event for a liberal think tank in June 2016 to arrange a meeting to discuss troubling events in Ukraine, the State Department email reveals. At the time, Sally Painter, a consultant for Blue Star Strategies, was working for Burisma to quash investigations into corruption at the Ukrainian energy company. Goodness me, I wonder how that came about. She was reportedly put in touch with Burisma through Biden, who joined the firm as a director in 2014. Fascinating. Biden and Painter shared a connection as directors of the Truman National Security Project, which featured Blinken as a speaker at its annual National Security Conference June 24, 2016. Painter moderated a panel discussion later in the day entitled, quote, Navigating the Political Appointment Process. Painter still serves on the board of the Truman Project. Biden left the organization in March 2019, according to the Washington Free Beacon. 3 days after the 2016 event, Painter emailed Blinken's top aide, William Russo, asking the State Department's second in command to meet with her and her Blue Star partner, Karen Tramontano? Something like that. Quote, per my conversation with Tony at the Truman event, Karen Tramontano and I would like to have a brief coffee with Tony at his earliest convenience regarding some troubling events we are seeing in Ukraine. Painter wrote in a June 27, 2016 email. So now this is, in a way it's, oh, wait a minute. Russo, who also serves as director of communications for the Joe Biden presidential campaign. Oh, goodness gracious. He said yes, Painter said in her email to Russo of Blinken, who serves as foreign policy advisor to the Biden campaign. We're just back from Kyiv. Painter's emails add previously unreported details in efforts by Burisma-linked consultants to meet with State Department officials. Other State Department emails show that Tramontano reached out to the agency to discuss Burisma. Hunter Biden also established contact with Blinken in 2015, according to State Department records. So, I guess, who knows? New York Times reported in 2019. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Interesting. What this means, it's still, it is interesting. Oh, I didn't ever put this on the screen. It's an interesting degree of separation, or lack of separation, but having Biden, someone named Biden on the board of Burisma when they're asking for, seemingly relief from investigations into Burisma. It's funny how that just is so coincidental. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm just saying. Anyway. All right, it's that time. We got to get into Twitter trends because that's what we do here on the Morning Live. Real quick, though, a couple more thank yous. Thank you, Becca Farley, Tyler F., G Prime, and Truck and Bear, Skookum, and Necrosol Collins for all tweeting out the show this morning. I really appreciate that. It always gets good to have things tweeted out and going. Prospero also. Let's see. What did you send me, Prospero? I'm going to check this out. Okay, we have a very serious story here. Hello, Keenan. How you doing? We have a very serious story here, and I think it's important that I cover it. Hick farmers retaliate against coastal elites by withholding ingredients needed to make avocado toast. Okay, it's the Babylon Bee, but it's very funny. Okay, now this is a Babylon Bee story. You all know how it goes. U.S. farmers have long been looked down upon by coastal elites, and now the farmers are finally getting their revenge. The redneck hicks all around the country have announced they will not be shipping the ingredients needed to make avocado toast to major liberal cities like New York and Los Angeles. Until further notice, you'll have to farm your own wheat and grow your own avocados, a spokesman for the American farmer said as he chewed on a stalk of Timothy grass and did other stereotypical things farmer did. Have fun. Yeehaw. Okay, I'm not going to read it. It's obviously it's a satirical article, but I will throw it in the chat because it's funny as hell. Thank you, Prospero. That's a good laugh today. All right, let's get into Twitter trends, but of course we're going to check the whatchamacallit, the PDK News hashtag first. PDK News. If you ever want to send stories or tag me in stories that you think are worthy of being on the top of the list, make sure you hit the PDK News. Oh, the latest. Oh, yesterday I never hit the latest button. That's why. There were a couple news stories. Let's see. Sex Robbins. Okay, we did that one. Thank you, Pancalo. CNN welcomes businessman and former Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang as a CNN political commentator. Of course. Now, I don't mind Andrew Yang as a human being. He seems like a friendly, nice guy, the math guy, whatnot. But I don't want this dude ever anywhere in government. Okay, he's a communist. Okay, let's give everyone $1,000 a month, and that'll get bumped up to $2,000, $3,000, $10,000, $100,000. Because you know what? When you start giving people money, the price of everything starts going up, and then you have to give them more and whatnot. But anyway, CNN. This is CNN. I need that. That's a good soundbite. I need that one. I need that for a whatchamacallit, what do you call them? Sound effect. This is CNN. Andrew Yang joined CNN as a political commentator. Yippee! Former Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang joined CNN as a political commentator, the network announced on Wednesday. I'm excited to join CNN to help shed light on an election and candidates' experiences, Yang wrote in a tweet following the announcement. Learned a lot these past months and am glad to contribute to the public discussion. Well, you know what, Andrew Yang? IDG AF. I don't care what you think. I guess if you know what, if he would just go on as guest on all the networks, but it's funny how they hire these persons. He's a Democrat, so you almost immediately get hired by CNN or MSNBC. I just don't get it. Good morning, Maddie. How you doing? All right, back in. Let's get into Twitter trends. Let's check the Explore tab. What's on the Explore tab first? Apple Card. Oh, it's a promoted, whatever you call it, on the tab of this. I'm going to see if I can get some. I don't want to see this ad. Let's try something else. Oh, now refresh the page to update these trends. All right, let's see if we can get a different. Let's see if we can get something else here. Oh, we got to refresh. Let's refresh. Is there any organic? Nope, still Apple Card. All right, fuck it. Trending number 1 is Pop Smoke. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. I've never heard of Pop Smoke. Rapper Pop Smoke has died at the age of 20. If you are a fan of Pop Smoke or have heard of Pop Smoke, may he rest in peace. When I first heard it, I was thinking, I wonder if he's related to Corn Pop, but that's not nice. The guy's dead, and I don't want to be disrespectful. Texting me worried. I love you for that, but rest in peace, Pop Smoke. Dear all rappers, don't floss. Don't have your friends around. Have 24-hour armed security. Don't post locations on social media, and make yourself so hard to get at. Nobody tries. 20-year-old. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. This has to stop. I'm not sure how this happened. Pop Smoke is moving too hot. As a street nigga, you gotta move like the president. Can't leave no trace, no evidence. So I'm getting the feeling that perhaps Pop Smoke's death is related to his name in some tangential way. TMZ tweeted about Pop Smoke's death literally an hour and 25 minutes after his last tweet. So you know his family didn't know about it before the general public did. Very insensitive. Yeah, I'm not a fan about how TMZ is getting out of the head of people's families. There's really, people are really busted up about this. I'm not familiar with this guy. I was just thinking yesterday that Pop Smokes was like the new 50 or new 50. The voice, the wit, with a new energy. I started to follow his career and dig a little into his discography recently, and I had Baby in his voice stuck in my head for like a week. May God have mercy on you and yours. Y'all treating Pop Smoke like Kobe. We treating death like death. Niggas are weird, son. Okay, so apparently he was murdered. Oh, here we go. Maybe there's an article. I'm only sticking in the story because I want to figure out what happened to this guy. Obviously, he's very popular enough to be trending #1 on Twitter, which means he's probably an up-and-coming rap artist. Very popular. Shot dead in a home invasion robbery. Oh my gosh, that's awful. Pop Smoke was fatally shot during what is believed to be a home invasion robbery early Wednesday morning, according to TMZ. He was 20 years old. Pop Smoke's born Bashar Baraka Jackson was at a residence in the Hollywood Hills area when around 4:30 a.m. two men are said to have broken into the home. According to law enforcement sources cited in the report, the men fired multiple shots, ultimately critically wounding Pop Smoke. He was then rushed to a nearby hospital where he was pronounced dead. At the time of this writing, the suspects are reported to having left the scene on foot. They have not been identified. In an update shared later Wednesday, TMZ clarified that the home in question was owned by Edwin Arroyev, husband of Teddy Mellencamp. Arroyev owns several properties in the Los Angeles area. TMZ also reported that a party or gathering had occurred at the house prior to the break-in. So, a separate report from regional NBC outlets stated that the man was killed in a shooting earlier Wednesday at a home in Hollywood Hills. That report, however, stated that their team has not confirmed the details about the deceased individual's identity. Okay, so yeah, this is not good, man. Not good. And you think so, Becky? You think his family probably knew? I mean, within an hour or so of his last tweet, TMZ's reporting it. It's possible. Who knows? But anyway, I always hate when a new artist or any young artist is killed. I don't care what their situation is. It's kind of it's unfortunate. Trending #2 is Wednesday Wisdom, our first Wednesday trend of the day. Freddie Mercury, apparently there's a Freddie Mercury account that carries on his legacy. Quote, "I am not going to be a star. I'm going to be a legend." Freddie Mercury. Well, he was very prophetic as far as that goes, because Freddie Mercury is absolutely a legend. And it's interesting because the next one below, Pop Smoke, wasn't even close to reaching his amazing potential. Dead at 20, rest in peace, Pop Smoke. Wednesday Wisdom. Again, I'm not familiar with him. I'm not going to play the music just to avoid the hit. All right, let's find an actual Wednesday Wisdom. I feel sorry for humans who don't have dogs. I hear they have to pick up food they drop on the floor. Okay, that's cute. That's cute. Yes, they called him Pop Smoke, and someone popped him into smoke. Yeah, that's really unfortunate and ironic. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Steps to self-care. If it feels wrong, don't do it. Say exactly what you mean. Don't be a people pleaser. Trust your instincts. Don't be afraid to say no. Let go of what you can't control and believe that God will do the impossible in your life. Okay, there's a Wednesday Wisdom. And then our last Wednesday Wisdom: to change your life, you need to change your priorities. All right, moving on. Number 3. Not Pop Smoke is trending. We know why that is, and we know why Hollywood Hills is trending. Those are all related to Pop Smoke. Only 20 related to Pop Smoke. Man, This guy must have been popular. I'm not familiar with him. Damn Pop, that's trending. Holy, there are a lot of people broken up about Pop Smoke. Wednesday Motivation, always with Ace. That's a K-pop thing, I'm pretty sure. Everything will be fine, always with Ace. Why do these guys always look so damn pretty? They're so pretty. Hello, this is Beat Interactive, Ace's company. Okay, so Ace must be a... Patrice, I need your help here. What the hell is Ace? Okay, enough of K-pop. An explanation of the Ace K-pop hashtag. PDawg Night, the K-pop band was attacked by pro-communist, pro-North Korea activists. Oh, that's not cool. All right, that's interesting. Thank you, Patrice. You come to my rescue on that one. Thank you so much. My resident K-pop aficionado, Patrice Ripley. And you know what? The shit you got yesterday was completely out of line. Not cool at all. I hope, whoever the jackass who was all up in your grits for being you, fuck them. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, rest in peace, Smoke. More Pop Smoke. Welcome to the party. That is I'm pretty sure that's a Pop Smoke song, a hit song. Welcome to the party. Nicki Minaj collaborated with the rapper on the official remix. So Pop Smoke's in a lot of people's minds today. It's brand new information too. Norwegian is trending. I wonder if this has to do with that cruise ship. Oh no. Okay. So remember when Pete Buttigieg tried to speak Spanish? Didn't work out. Gay! Okay, I see it. Okay, whatever. When Pete Buttigieg tried to speak Spanish, well, apparently his Norwegian is much better than his Spanish. Pete Buttigieg's Norwegian is pretty good, actually. We had several conversations with him back in August. Apparently, okay, here's... Mayor Pete was asked to say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas in Norwegian. What he actually said, with a terrible accident, was "Det som skjedde på Vegas ligger der." Translated, that which happened on Vegas lay there. This dude cannot speak Norwegian. Okay, some people say his Norwegian isn't bad, and some people think it's okay. But why we care about Pete's Norwegian? Oh, wait, or is that a nickname for... Never mind, I'm not going there. All right, that's why Norwegian is trending, because of Pete Buttigieg. Moving on. Birtherism's trending. Oh, why? Why is birtherism trending? She's also subtly compared questions about the health of a 78-year-old man who just had a heart attack to birtherism. Okay, here it is. Just now, press secretary for Bernie Sanders equates questions about his medical records to smear campaign and claims Mike Bloomberg has suffered heart attacks. Bloomberg had an irregular heartbeat and stents, but I've seen a record of attack. Checking now. Let's see what she says here. This is interesting. Let's see what she says here.
He had a heart attack in the fall. Do you think the American people deserve to know more about his health going forward?
I think that the American people deserve to know exactly as much as every other candidate has released in this race currently and historically. And what you're seeing right now is really reminiscent of some of the kind of smear, kind of skepticism campaigns that have been run against a lot of different candidates in the past, questioning where they're from, aspects of their lineage, et cetera, et cetera. And it's really telling,
so she hints at birtherism.
Concern is being demonstrated for
asking
Michael
about Bernie
Bloomberg,
Sanders'
who's the
health.
same age as Bernie Sanders, who has suffered heart attacks in the past.
He had a heart attack in
Okay,
the fall.
I have a question for the chat, because I'm. Does Bernie Sanders ever smile? Does he? I mean, it's so rare. He always talk about someone who has resting bitch face. Someone told me I have resting bitch face this morning at work. Although sometimes it's funny because I do resting bitch face on purpose sometimes to people. I give them that stare like, I know you can't see it in the little screen, but Bernie Sanders has permanent bitch face, and occasionally smiles. But it's almost, he's always so angry. He reminds me of God, I don't even know what he reminds me of. He reminds me a little bit of Doc from Back to the Future, but with less personality. I don't know. He looks like Rictus. Communists never smile. Okay. Anyway. So this is why. Is this why birtherism is trending? Okay. Oh, here's another part though. Let's see. Comparing legitimate requests for transparency from a 78-year-old candidate to birtherism is disgusting. Okay, so people are pissed off that she even said that. These are the same folks online attacking Brianna Joy Gray over here, birtherism comments, while endorsing Mike Bloomberg. And there we go. It's time to give elites a bigger say in choosing a president because the elites are better than you. Soledad has no idea what she's talking about. The image below is the only thing Obama released about his medical records in 2008. It has far less details than Sanders, which is why the right latched on to a million conspiracy theories, including birtherism and Obama's trans. Oh, this is okay. So this is Soledad O'Brien. Lady, he released his records and then said he wouldn't, so lying. Not birtherism, not a smear. A solid question from Berman and lame tap dance from you. Wow. The elites are not happy about Bernie Sanders leading their party's nomination. It's just funny, and people are sure. Whoa, we have our first hashtag of the day. Woohoo! Now, let me just real quick. I need to make sure this is safe for YouTube consumption. Just give me one moment. Okay, she's covered up, so it's okay. I can put it on the screen. Our first hashtag of the day. Yes, we have our Twitter trend thought, and her name is Monica. And Monica says, well, hang on, full screen. We'll get it up here. Full screen. It says, listen. Monica says, I cook delicious. I have a tender, chubby, narrow pussy, good tits. What else is needed? Well, if you have a huge dowry, that would be cool. There is Monica, our hashtag of the day. Woohoo! Our Twitter trend thought. First one of the day. She is actually, she's covered up. She covered her breasticles right there with her hand, with her mighty tattoos, and she covered up the lady bits down there, so she's okay. And she has an interesting set of makeup. She has a, what is that called? What's this thing called? Is that the whatever ring in your nose and a couple piercings and stuff? I'm curious if she's pierced downstairs too, but that's not my business because I don't care. I'm happily married. She's had, okay, not a chubby, but she says I have a tender, chubby, narrow. Now chubby and narrow. Chubby, how do you, chubby and narrow? A chubby, narrow pussy, good tits, and what else? Chubby and narrow? I'm not so sure about that. Anyway, congratulations to our hashtag of the day, Monica. All right, moving on. Finally, let's see. Gotti is trending. Gotti, why is Gotti trending? It has to be something to do with our friend, Baraka Jackson, who went by the name Pop Smoke, and just released his new album, Meet the Woo 2, which went top 10 on the chart. He was supposed to go on tour in a few weeks, starting March 2nd. What does Gotti have to do with this? Oh, okay. Gotti was on one of his singles, and also with Travis Scott. Man, I hate to see any artist, septum piercing, thank you. Any artist coming up who dies that young, it's a sad thing. And then Meet the Woo and Rest in Peace Woo are also about Pop Smoke. And is that still it's still trending number one? I'm going to refresh here. Yep, he is trending number one. Let's see if there's any new ones in here. Man, everything's about him. Literally, there's only a couple. Hey, here's a new one. We'll finish on this one because this should be funny. This one will be funny. We'll finish on the hashtag. It's hashtag Fatten up a movie. Huh. Fatten up a movie. Okay, and here we go. Fatten up a movie. The first one on the list is Die Lard. Not too bad. That's pretty good. How about 16 Cankles? Fatten up a movie. Gutbusters. That's not bad. Fatten up a movie. Dude, where's my carbs? People are quite creative on this one, aren't they? How about the all-you-can-eat breakfast club? Awesome. That's a good one. Back to the fridge. That's okay. That's not funny. John Thick. What is his name? John Wick versus John Thick. Mary's Poppin'. Oh, she popping that ass. All right, Mary popping that ass. Hope bloats. That's not good. Blubber. That was not good. I really did. The one up here was funny though. All you can eat breakfast club. That's kind of funny. Let's see. How about since tomorrow Fat Tuesday? Let's play Fat Up. Oh, okay, that's the person who started with it. Snack to the future. What isn't Gilbert Grape eating? The Full English Patient. Love Handles Actually. 8 Mile Buffet. That's a good one. The Curious Case of Benjamin Glutton. 12 Chunkies instead of 12 Monkeys. That's kind of humorous. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Scones. Oh my gosh. If you can think of a good way to fatten up a movie, throw it in the chat. I think that's good. Smokey and the Barbecue Pit as opposed to Smokey and the Bandit. Porky and the Bandit. Not So Little Women. Hey, I know them. The Incredible Bulk. Bride of Chubby as opposed to Chucky. Okay, they've got some cute ones in the hashtag Fatten Up a Movie, and that's how we're going to end the show today. Quite hilarious. I'm going to check Gunfox. I will check out your articles you sent me. Hi, Della Hayes. I didn't know that you were here, but the Scarlet Plumpernal? The Fat and the Furious. There's a good one. Scarlet Plumpernal. I'm not familiar with the movie you're trying to go with there. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here on our daily trek through the world of politics and news and funny hashtags and Twitter trends. And I'm happy we got a hashtag ho today. We haven't had one for a while. Also, thank you to Benoit Balls for the super chat today. Remember, you can support the channel with your super chats through the Streamlabs link, which is at PDawgnight.live, which is my little Streamlabs website. Also, before you go, if you haven't done so already, please eat, pray, eat some more. That's a good one. So, what was I saying here? Oh, hey, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button. 25 likes, 41 people in the chat, or concurrent viewers. Hit the like button before you go. Duck Dog, you know what to do. You can hit that dislike, and then the thumbs down, and also, if you're watching after the fact, please make sure that or if you're watching a replay, for example, please make sure that you leave a comment in the comment section, and so that I can acknowledge that you were here. Also, share the stream out, hit that share arrow below, or just follow me on Twitter at PDawgnight, Twitter, Minds, Gabs, whichever ones you use, and repeat those however you do it. They call it retweet on Twitter. I can't remember what you call it on Minds and Gab, but just share the show out. That helps me a lot. We're this close to 600 subscribers. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell the people that you love in anywhere throughout the world. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Oh my God, I'm coughing again. Sorry. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 3 p.m. GMT for those around the world who don't use American time. Again, thanks for being here, everybody. I gotta go. My name is PDawg Night, and I'm out of here. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here.